Bonjour! Bonjour. Hello, my name is Léa Macalor. I am 28 years old. I am French, by my accent you can hear it, and I am British Scottish to be more specific. I created this channel because I want to talk about endometriosis. The reason is because I've been suffering from a severe period pelvic digestive pain for 18 years now, and I would like to talk about it more because we obviously don't talk about it much, a bit more now, I have to say, but we need to talk about it more and taking this more seriously. I'm just gonna introduce myself first. I'm opening this channel to talk about it, but obviously let's start from the beginning. I'm an actor based in London. I've lived all my life in France until 2022. I was 25 when I moved to London, and the reason is because I wanted to do acting. I started a 2 years part-time drama course. Now that I'm a proper actor, professional actor, paramedics everywhere. I'm also interested in screenwriting, and I wrote my first script, which is about endometriosis. So this is why I'm doing and opening this channel. Okay, let's start with a definition. Obviously, so everyone understands what it is, but I'm sure you have heard of it. So I need my computer to read definition just in case I don't want to say anything wrong. Endometriosis is a medical condition in which tissue similar to endometrium, sorry, I think my set is gonna collapse, similar to the endometrium, the lining of the uterus, that start to grow outside the uterus, which is problematic. And these growths can appear on the ovaries, on the, there you go, I knew it, the fallopian tubes, the outer surface of the uterus, or other organs in the pelvis. Can be outside as well. I know it's very, usually it goes to the organs very close to the uterus, sorry. Obviously, so like bladder, gut, the bowel. It can be as well going further up. It can be literally, yesterday learned about someone who has it on the liver. I've never heard of it before, but I'm not surprised. Also, it could be up to the lungs. It's not as common as the other organs, but it can happen. And then even some people who found it on, doctors who found it in the brain. So crazy, right? So basically, it creates. So basically, it creates inflammation. Major inflammation. So the normal process is whenever you have your period, it's inflammation inside the uterus, which is normal. But it's really painful. But obviously, when you have endometriosis, it's also bleeding in the areas where endometriosis is. So outside the uterus, and it's also bleeding. So obviously, it's not pleasant, and it's very, very, very painful because it has nowhere to go to leave, to exit the body. So this is not normal, and it's called endometriosis. Obviously, I'm explaining all of this. I'm not a doctor. I studied nursing, but we definitely don't learn endometriosis in nursing school. Maybe it changed, but I stopped nursing in 2019. I'm not a doctor, so anything I say, obviously, don't take it as like medical advice or anything. But obviously, it's a topic I've been studying and learning for years, so I know a little bit of it, obviously. The description of the inflammation is it's pure pain, severe pain. I've suffered from it myself. I'm still suffering from it. So it feels like, lots of women, because endometriosis is affecting 1 woman out of 10, which is a lot, and it's excruciating, debilitating pain. It feels like knives in the body, specifically around the pelvic area, or the digestive area, and it's awful. So this condition that was thought to be a gynae condition is actually not just a gynae, it's a systemic. So what does that mean? That means it's affecting the system. So it can be affecting the bladder, the bowels, the lungs, crazy. Yeah, it's no longer considered as just a gynae issue. Whenever women have surgery for endometriosis, I know these are really, really, really difficult surgeries because it does not just involve a gynecologist surgeon. It also involves, depending on where the endometriosis is located in the body, it also involves having, I would say, like a digestive gastroenterologist surgeon. If it's located in the bowel, it requires a doctor for bladder if it's in the bladder. Yeah, so it's very, very tricky. So this condition, as you probably know, affects 1 woman out of 10, which is huge. It takes about 7 to 10 years for a proper diagnosis, which is obviously far too long. In my case, if it's confirmed that I have endometriosis, it would have taken 19 years. On adore. How to diagnose it is very tricky to see it. So there's 3 and now actually 4 ways to see it. The first one is your doctor is going to prescribe you an ultrasound to do, a pelvic ultrasound or a vaginal one. So it could be just on the abdomen or inside the vagina. If you can't see it there, then the second step is the MRI, pelvic MRI, and these you can find it's a very deep endometriosis or ovary endometriosis because they're different. I'm going to explain that as well. There's different kind of endometriosis. If you can't see it on the MRI, then you would have to go through surgery, laparoscopy, which is obviously a very invasive way to diagnose it. So doctors are trying to limit that because it's been done quite a lot these last few years, and they just realized that it's better to not to, obviously, because this is a surgery, so there are risks. But obviously with the laparoscopy, you can see for sure, you can know for sure if it is there. It's the easiest way to diagnose it. And recently, it's been going on for a few years now. The laboratory called, I don't know what's the word in English for that, laboratory in France, in Lyon, created this test, which is a saliva test you do, and it allows you to know if you have endometriosis. So obviously this is really ideal because it's not an invasive test to do. However, it's the cost of it is about 900 euros, so it's like, I think, 800 pounds, which is a lot of money. But in France, since February this year, so 2025, they decided to do a trial in France, national trial, where for a year and a half they will test lots of women who are suspected to have endometriosis, to have this test done for free. But there's obviously requirements for that. You need to be eligible for that, and you have to do ultrasounds, MRI within 6 months or a year, it depends the centers, for you to be able to have the test done. And I've been fighting for it since February. On adore. To get it done, but I'll come to that later. There are so many different kind of endometriosis. It depends on so many different factors, but there's 3 main ones that you need to know. I took my computer for that. I just don't want to say anything wrong, obviously. The first one, which is the most common one, superficial peritoneal endometriosis. So the most common and the mildest form. So basically the lesions grow on the surface of the peritoneum, so it's the lining of the pelvic cavity, and they often appear as small spots or patches. This form is very difficult to see on ultrasounds or MRI. Very, very difficult because it's on the surface. The MRI and the ultrasound see the deepest lesions, like areas. It's very tricky. The second one is ovarian endometrial mass. So it's also known as chocolate cysts. I don't know if you heard of that because it looks like that. So cysts filled with old dark blood that form on or inside the ovaries, can interfere with ovarian function and may cause significant pain. So this one is the one I know the least, but it's affecting a lot of women. And the last one, which is the worst one, it's deep infiltrating endometriosis. DIE. This one is the more severe form and the one that you can easily see on the scans. Lesions grow deeper than 5 millimeter beneath the peritoneum, and this can affect structures like the bowels, bladder, idiocerical ligaments, or pelvic nerves. That's a lot. The symptoms change depending on the form you have. It's very different from one woman to another. You probably know that already, but some women who have endometriosis don't even have a single symptom, like pain or anything like that. So that's pretty tricky, because obviously when you go and see a gynecologist to talk about your pain, and this is when, you know, scans or like surgery is going to be performed, so to see if you have endometriosis. But for the women who don't have any pain, why would they go and check? So in the meantime, some deep endometriosis can do a lot of damage inside the bowel, whatever it's located, without them knowing it. So that's a bit of a problem. But some women who have deep endometriosis have less pain than some have mild on the surface endometriosis kind. But it completely depends on the woman and also where it's located. Some superficial endometriosis are located very close to nerves. The other complexity of it is that it differs from woman to another, but also it's very similar to lots of conditions, including the main one is IBS, inflammatory bowel syndrome. And there's a lot of women who had this diagnosis for years and they're not being taken seriously. And then one day they just find the right doctor who discovered that they have endometriosis. So that's typical. That's the number one misdiagnosis. Number two is probably Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is an IBD, so it's inflammatory bowel disease, which I have. The symptoms are very similar. It's not exactly the same, but when endometriosis is affecting the bowel, it can create major inflammation similar to Crohn's disease. There's lots of others, but I'm not a doctor and I don't know all of them. Another very important point to raise is that it affects the fertility. So okay, every time I record, this sound happening. Great. Endometriosis is affecting the fertility of women. About 40% are going to struggle to have children. It doesn't mean when you have a diagnosis of endometriosis, that doesn't mean that you automatically won't be able to have children. That's not true, but obviously it can affect it. As you know, guys, endometriosis is a very important cause to me, so this is why I created this channel and this profile. I decided to write a short film about endometriosis, and it's based on my story, personal story. Not everything is true, obviously. I changed a few lots of details, but yeah, pretty much what I've been through. It's the story of April. She's 25 years old. She's a biology student, and she's French, and she lives in London and is doing her master's, and she is still like struggling without any diagnosis, like official one. She's going to see a doctor, the GP, and the GP is not taking her seriously. And we follow her with the friends and uni and pretty much like different aspects of her life. And this short film talks about the pain. It shows how painful it is. It also talks about the isolation. Yeah, when you're going through this, you feel really lonely. Also, it goes through the impact on the social life, on the work, uni life. You just basically see the consequences of having endometriosis, and how the system is not taking this seriously and is struggling to help. So this is like kind of the summary of the story. I wrote it, my friend is producing it, we have a director, we're just getting like the crew all together now. We're so excited because there's quite a lot of people who reach out to us and are very excited about getting involved in the process and the project. So it's like looking good. We created a fundraising, so I'm gonna put the link below, and so you can support us by donating. You can also support by following this channel, follow everything that we do, all the process. I'll keep you updated, and it would mean a lot if you get involved by donating to the project. We really want to make it happen because it's such an important cause, and we want definitely more videos, films and documentaries about endometriosis, and the project for us is like just focus on the short film that we hopefully will want to film next year, early next year. And after that, with my friend who's a producer, she wants to, and we both want to do a film like / documentary about endometriosis. So that would be the next step. I think it's time. It's time to raise awareness as much as we can. I thank you in advance for supporting all of that. Thank you, and I hope you subscribe, like, comment. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Et voilà, before the sets all collapse.